guys, welcome back to my channel. I love you guys and thank you for being here today. Today I'm going to share with you some super easy Halloween decor. I'm going to be using these products from Dollar Tree. If you want to know how to make them, stick around. I show you how. And if you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like because it helps my video get shared with other crafters like you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Okay, for this one, we're going to start with one of the Dollar Tree witch hat wreaths, and we're going to take some tulle, and we're just going to wrap it around. Now, I started off with just one piece to see what size I wanted it to be. Then I got one of the Dollar Tree boards that was 5 3/4 inches, and I'm just wrapping my tulle around it multiple times until I get it pretty thick. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut it off, and then I'm going to just cut it in half. So go ahead and cut down one side and then the other. And that'll give you a lot of the pieces that are 6 inches wide by 5 3/4 inches in length. And you're just going to take them, you're going to fold them in half. You're just going to wrap them underneath and then pull those through. And you're going to do a lot of these. I did like 2 batches of these after I got done. Then I went ahead and evened that one out that I had started with. And I'm just going to keep going till I get it completely full all along the bottom row. And you're going to use quite a few pieces of these, but it really doesn't take that long to go ahead and tie them on here. Once you get to the all the bottom row done, you're going to go ahead and start all the way across the second row above it. Okay, next we're going to take some fabric. You're going to measure and make sure that it fills up that whole area, that your whole wreath fits inside of it. Then we're going to go ahead and take it out, fold up the bottom, hem it up so we have a nice finished edge to go up against all of our tulle. So just go ahead and fold that over. And then we're going to center it over the top part of our wreath form, and we are going to glue it as close to that tulle as we can get. And then we're going to come back here in a minute and glue the back of it down. So just get it on there and then go ahead and flip it over and then just start pulling your fabric tight because you want to just make sure that it completely covers this very tightly. And then go ahead and glue the bottom down to the back. And then just keep working your way up to the top. And then we're going to trim some off because we do have a lot of fabric on here. But you just want to kind of make sure that you can get it pretty tight on there. It'll make it so much prettier on the front if you can just make sure it is tight. And just go ahead and glue that down and overlapping it. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to trim out the top. Just make sure you have enough to completely cover it before you start trimming off your pieces. And then leave a little opening in the very top because we're going to come back in and put a piece of jute rope so that we have something to hang this with. Okay, next I'm just going to take a piece of jute and I'm just going to glue it together on both sides, and I'm just going to glue it down into the opening of the top part there. Just glue it in, and that's what we can hold it, make it hang from. Just push it all the way in there where you don't see any of that from the front. Okay, then flip it over and we're going to start adding some flowers. I'm just using 3 purple flowers across the front. And just starting in the middle and then do the 2 on each side. And then I'm going to add the 2 spiders. I'm going to put one right there above the flowers, and I put one at the very tip of the hat. This one turned out so cute. I was so happy with this one. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. Okay, next we're going to take our skulls and we are going to take a dowel rod, sharpen it, and stick it through the bottom. And that way you can hold it in place while you're painting it. We're painting it with a matte black paint. And then after it dries, we're going to go ahead and take some Mod Podge, cover it completely thickly, and we're going to go ahead and add some fine black glitter. And just make sure you get it completely covered. Then we're going to take 2 candlesticks, paint them with a matte black fusion paint, and that's what's going to hold our skulls. We're going to take a cork, we're going to cut off about 1/2 inch, we're going to take a stick, cut it at 4 inches, and then we're going to sharpen both ends, and that's what's going to hold our head in. So go ahead and push one end into your cork, and then go ahead and glue it into your candlestick holder. And then we're going to go ahead and take our head and we're going to put our head onto that. Now, I didn't do that on the silver one that's coming up next, but go ahead and do it that way as well. Next, we're just going to go ahead and decorate his hat. I got these hats at Hobby Lobby in the doll section. And just going to dress them up, put some ribbon on them, put some flowers on them. You can dress these up as much as you want to. I mean, you can add a lot of stuff to this hat. Okay, then I'm just going to go ahead and glue it onto his head. And then I'm going to sharpen a dowel stick, and I'm just going to run it through his eye to kind of give it a little indent there. And I'm putting this jewel that I got at Hobby Lobby inside there. Put a little bit of E6000 glue and a little hot glue to hold it in while it dries. After I put that in, I thought he needed just a little bit more contrast, so I came back in and I dry brushed some platinum colored metallic paint onto his stand, and then I did the same thing on his teeth. Okay, there you have it. I thought he turned out pretty good. Okay, for this next one, we're doing something very similar to what we did the last one. We're just going to go put Mod Podge all over him, and then we're just going to sprinkle it with a silver glitter. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take some tulle, and I'm going to pull about 3 yards out of that, and we're going to attach this to the same type of hat that we did on the other one. So just fold it in half, and then just kind of twist it in the center, and then go ahead and wrap it around the hat, and then tie a bow. And this one I dressed up a little bit more than the other one. And if you're using a dark color glitter, be sure and paint your skull first with a darker color. Otherwise, you'll have to use a lot more glitter. So go ahead and cut those off, and then we're just going to go ahead and add a flower and then some little flowers. Just kind of open up those bows a little bit to kind of fluff them up. And then cut the back off of your flower so it's flush. And then go ahead and attach that right over your ribbon. And then I'm just taking some black flowers just to kind of stick in there like stems on both sides of that hat. Okay, next I'm just going to take that same tulle, I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to take a floral wire and I'm going to weave it in and out like I'm doing a casing, like I'm going to sew it up. What we're doing is we're just going to gather it up as thick as you want it to go around the top of the candlestick, and this is going to act as a little collar. So I guess you could say this is probably a girl skeleton. And then go ahead and wrap your wire around there and tie that off. Now go ahead and use the cork method to attach the head like I did on the black one. Don't try to balance it, because I did have to go back in and put that cork in there after the fact. So go ahead and bend that wire back so you don't see it, and then just go ahead and glue that straight to the top of that candlestick. Just kind of feather it out a little bit. And then go ahead and glue your head on there, but use the cork. And then we're just going to attach the hat to it. And I'm kind of just putting it at a little bit of a tilt on the side. Okay, that one turned out pretty cute too. If you can say a skull is cute, but I thought they turned out really good. Next one, I was trying to give it a stone look to it. I'm mixing modeling paste with some fine sand, and I got both of those at Michael's. And then I'm just starting to apply it with a popsicle stick, and then I ended up using my hands to kind of push it around there a little bit easier. And it gave it a little bit more texture once I started using my hands. And if you want a substantial piece, this thing was heavy when I got done making it. It really is a nice piece, and that modeling paste is great to use on many projects. It really does look like stone. Okay, next I'm going to take a black base, and I'm just going to go ahead and attach it. And I got that at Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put glue all over the bottom, and then just set it on the edge there. And then he looked more like a mummy, so I decided to come back in and add some paint. And I'm going to use 2 different colors of brown paint. And I'm just kind of getting them real liquefied. And I'm just going to start applying it to his eyes and his nose, and then start giving him some features. And then I decided to go ahead and put a lot of it on there. Now, once you start putting it on here and you get it all painted in, I'm going to come back in and I'm just going to start spritzing it with some water so that that paint starts running all over him. And it really made it look good. And that's when I'm adding the second color, just to kind of give it a little bit more depth. And then when you spritz it, it makes that paint just start running, and it really makes it look more original or more authentic, like a mummy. It makes it to where you don't see all your brush strokes. It just kind of really makes it blend well. Okay, that was a pretty easy one. He turned out super cool. I really like the way he turned out. I mean, he's creepy, but he's pretty neat looking. Okay, this next one is kind of going to be one that is made like with sheet metal strips, and he's got rivets connecting him. I'm just drawing my lines to where my sheet metal will separate. Just draw, separate as many sections of it as you want to, just to kind of give him some, unique look. And you can just do however you want to on it. And then once you do that, go ahead and take an X-Acto knife and go ahead and start cutting into your lines about 1/8 of an inch in, so you can definitely see the separation once you get it painted. Okay, after you get all your lines cut in, we're going to take some paper brads and we're just going to start lining those lines up with it. And I'm spacing mine probably about 3/8 to 1/2 inch apart, but just go along the one side of the line all the way around are the ones that you did. It makes them very industrial looking. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and stick a stick in it to hold it so I can paint it, and I'm painting it again with the black matte black paint. Then once you finish that, let it dry, and I'm coming back in with a platinum silver metallic paint, and I'm just going to dry brush onto him. So don't overly paint him because you want the black to show through, but just get enough on there where you can see some separation between the rivets and the head. And then I'm going to take just a round disc. I'm going to paint it with matte black paint, and that's what I'm going to set his head on. I'm just going to go ahead and just glue it to the top of that. And that was pretty easy. All of these are pretty easy. I hope you liked them. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like. If you want to see future videos, be sure and subscribe. If you want to be notified when I have another video, hit the bell. Thank you so much for watching. And I'd love to hear in the comments which one of these is your favorite. Thanks again.